Hi guys. Taking a short rest today. This one's going to be a little bit different than my usual short rests. Normally, I like to take my short rests on Twitch, where I can interact with the viewers live. Um, Today, though, I have a game to run tonight, and I thought it would be interesting to show you how I prep for that session. So normally I would be able to just run this module as it's designed if I only had 4 players, but because I have 5 players, I need to adjust the difficulty a little bit to account for the extra player. That's what I'm hoping that I can share with you guys today. As you see on the screen, I'm looking at A2, room A2, which is over here. It is a moderate encounter for 4 level characters. I have a party of 4th level characters, but I have a 5th player. If you remember from, I think it was my first short rest, I showed how you could adjust the difficulty based on the suggested difficulty. So the encounter is calling for moderate. A moderate encounter is 80 XP, but that's for 4 players. Since I have an extra player, I need to add 20 XP to this encounter to maintain that moderate difficulty. If I don't add another 20 XP to the encounter, then essentially the threats that are in this encounter, which are get that above my head. 4 creature 1 kobold scouts and a creature 2 kobold trap master. So 4 enemies that are creature 1, meaning that they are essentially like a level 1 monster, and 1 creature that is a 2nd level. Um, when you look at the when you look at this here creature and XP roll, the party is level 4. So the creature 1, the 1st level creatures, are 3 levels lower than the party. So each one of them is only worth 15 XP towards the 80 that we needed for a 4-person party. So 4 of them is 60 XP. And then the creature 2 is 2 levels lower than the party, so party level lower -2. And that Kobold Trapmaster is worth 20 XP towards the encounter. So, that is your 80 XP, but I need to add 20 XP to this encounter. The easiest way that I could see to do that is just add a second Kobold Trapmaster that's worth 20 XP. So that's probably what I'm going to do. But I wanted to take a minute just to explain why I need to add that extra threat to keep it at a moderate difficulty. So, because there are 5 players, if I keep the difficulty as it is 80 XP. But if you look at the low threat, it's 60 XP plus 15 for the next player. That's 75. So in essence, this is really like a low threat encounter unless I add the 20 XP needed to maintain that moderate encounter difficulty of um, 80, which is what it wants. In this case, it would be 100. It's worth noting, too, for anybody, because this was confusing to me at first, when you award the XP for this encounter, even though you're bumping it up to 100 XP to account for the extra player, it's still worth this much XP here, just 80. It's not worth 100. Likewise, if you, let's say you only had 3 players, you would have your 80 XP for the encounter, and then you would remove 20 XP from the encounter. So if I was running this for only 3 people, maybe I take the Kobold Trapmaster out, take him out of the encounter, Now it's only 60 XP, and I run the encounter. But even though it's only a 60 XP encounter, it's still a moderate threat and it's still worth 80 XP. So coming from D&D, it's a little weird in that regard because you don't just add up the experience points and then divide it by the number of players. In this, you a low threat is always 60, a moderate threat is always 80, a severe threat is always 120 XP, and you just adjust the encounter, the difficulty, by adding or subtracting a certain amount of XP worth of threats to maintain that level depending on how many player characters you have. Okay, so the simple answer to fixing this encounter is to copy the Kobold Trapmaster and add another Kobold Trapmaster. Then I just want to make sure that his hit points are not shared between the other, and they're not. Okay. So this encounter is done. Now I'll move on to the next one. Room A3, which is over here. This is a severe 4, meaning that when we look at the chart over here, severe is 120 XP, normally. I have to add an additional 30 for the extra players, so this encounter is going to end up being budgeted on 150 XP, and it will be worth 120 XP, awarded for completing it. Now, I need to look at what is included in it. It looks like 4 Ogre Warriors. So if I scroll on down here, Ogre Warriors are a 3rd level creature. The party is level 4, so this creature is 1 level lower than the party. So they are worth 30 XP each. 4 of them is 120 XP, or the value of a severe encounter. The good thing, again, here, very easy, right? I need to add 30 XP to the encounter in order to make it severe still. If I add another Ogre Warrior, I have a severe encounter. So, interestingly, if well, let me go ahead and add that extra Ogre Warrior, and maybe that thought will come back to me. So copy. Let's see. We'll paste him here. All right. Next room is the guard post. This is a moderate 4. So the guard post is over here. It looks like we have 2 owlbears. Let's see. Owlbears are creature 4. So they are the same level as the player characters. Party level, they're 40 XP each. 2 of them, it wants a moderate encounter. That's the 80 XP. I need to add another 20 though to get it to the same difficulty. So, being that the owlbear is 40 XP, I can't just simply add another owlbear. So, what I can do is I can make one of them elite. If I make one of them elite, it makes their stats higher, makes them stronger without adding another threat. And the way I understand it, it makes it 1 level higher. So if it's a level 4 creature, it will now become a level 5 creature. Party plus 1, 60 XP, 60 XP plus 40 XP is the 100 XP that I want for the moderate encounter with 5 players. So My answer here is to make one of the owlbears elite. So what I'm going to do is go into here. I'm going to go into here. I am going to scroll down. This is going to be really hard for you guys to see here. NPC adjustment, and I'm going to make that elite. That is going to give him more hit points. He's going to have 70 hit points. He's going to have a higher armor class and be harder to hit. And I'm going to... Oh, yeah, the elite, he's going to have more hit points than the 70 now that he's elite. He has 85 hit points. So this one I'm going to give 85 hit points, and I'm going to mark him with something to show that he is elite. Let's give him this one. Let's give him that. No, I like this one. Okay. So, no, the flag. Let's give him the flag. So he's elite. And, need to change this to 85 also. Okay. So now he is elite. Oh, I didn't hit save. Kind of hard to work with it when it's zoomed in this far. Save settings. Okay. So he is now elite. And then that's my 100 XP for the moderate encounter. The next one is the gallery. It's a severe 4. Let's see. A5 is over here. So this is a severe encounter. We have 2 harpies. They are creature 5. So 5th level creatures. Coming back over to archives. They are 1 level higher than the party, just like we did with that 1 owlbear in the last room. So they're worth 60 XP each. We want 120 XP for severe. So if it was 4 players, that would be severe, but I need to add 30 XP more to the encounter in order to keep it severe. Problem is that 150 XP and only adding 30 more, I can't... Well, let's see. If I make one of them elite, it would go to creature 7. No. Creature 6, which would be 2 levels higher than the party. So that would be 80 XP for that one that's elite. That plus the 60 from this one is 140, is just shy, but that might be the answer. If I make them both elite, it's 10 over. Do I make them both elite? I think that might be too much. So, while... Another option would be to find a threat that's worth 30 XP and add it to the encounter. Something that would make sense with what's going on in this room. So we have 2 harpies. What would it make sense that they might have? So I'm thinking back to before. And there's kobolds already in this cave. So maybe they have some kobolds working for them. And I need to add 30 XP to make it severe. So maybe they each have a pet kobold that works for them. One of the standard kobolds from before. And they're worth 15 XP each. That would be the 30 that I need. That's a pretty clean way to continue it. And then I would just roleplay that those kobolds are like charmed by the harpies. So what I do, just paste in a kobold here, paste in a kobold here, Okay, there's my 2 kobolds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pink dot to these 2 to show that this harpy has this kobold like enchanted, and we're going to add a purple dot to that and a purple dot to this kobold to show that these 2 are enchanted. And we have maintained our difficulty of severe. I'm going to get to this room last because this is the boss room. That was A5. A6 is down here. Let's see what A6 has for us. It's a moderate 4. So, moderate, again, looking at their chart here, is 80 XP. We need to add an additional 20 to maintain the difficulty of moderate. It is 2 creatures level 4. Again, knowing that the party's level 4, these creatures are on party level. They're 40 XP each. 40 plus 40 is 80 is our moderate encounter. Again, needing to add 20 XP to it. We could do the simple thing that we did before and make one of, with the owlbears, make one of these guys elite. So we have a gargoyle and a mimic. Another option to add 20 XP would be to add something that's party level -2. Again, there's already kobolds in here. I could just put a kobold in here. One of these trap masters. And that would kind of make sense, being that there's like tricksters. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually just add a kobold trap master to this room. And when we look at the math, we have a 4th level gargoyle prankster, 40 XP. We have a 4th level mimic prankster, 40 XP. That's 80. And the kobold trap master is 2 levels lower than the party because he's only a 2nd level creature. He's worth 20 XP. That brings our 80 to 100, and we have our moderate encounter. So, next room, A7 is up here. Boar pen. So, what was the difficulty? Moderate 4. So we want another moderate encounter. This is going to be the same. It would be 80 XP, but we're going to make it worth 100 so that it's challenging for the players still, so that it maintains that moderate difficulty. This room has 1 level 2 boar and 1 level 5 troll enforcer. So when we come back to Archives of Nethys, the level 2 boar is just like our kobold trapmaster from the last room. He's worth 20 XP. When we look at the troll enforcer, he is a 5th level character. 5th level being 1 level higher than the party, so he's worth 60 XP. The 60 plus the 20 is the 80 needed for moderate, but we need to add another 20 XP to maintain the moderate difficulty. Well, the first thought that comes to my mind is we could just add another boar, because we're already have 1 boar, and if we add another, we get to that 100. Does it fit the scene? I think so. I think it does, because this troll enforcer is essentially, he has a pet boar. So if we just add another boar, he has another pet. And I think that's very easy to rationalize, and it adds the proper amount of XP to the encounter that's needed to maintain the difficulty of moderate. Now, the final room, the boss room of the encounter, of the entire module, in fact. This one, as you may have seen already, is Extreme 4. It's the only extreme encounter in the entire module. We're going to find out why. Looking at this, you would almost think that this guy's the boss, but I've actually read ahead a little bit. This is not the boss, even though he's large. The boss is actually this jackal over here, and we'll see why in a minute. So, the bugbear over here is actually the lowest threat at creature 2, second level creature. Same as the kobold trapmaster that they've been fighting throughout this entire thing. 2 levels lower than the party, worth 20 XP. Let's take a look at that extreme difficulty. 160 XP. And we need to add an additional 40 to bring that to 200 to keep it extreme. So, when we look at the Ogre Warrior, he is a creature 3. Third level creature. Oop. Yeah, that's fine. He is 1 level lower than the party, 30 XP. Alright. So we've got our 30 and our 20. That's 50 XP out of the 160 that we need. Ooh, boy. 110 XP for this guy. Well, let's see what he's actually worth. He's a creature 6. So he's 2 levels higher than the party. That's 80 XP. $80 plus 20, 100, and 30, 130. So there's probably something that I'm missing here, because that's not 160. So maybe there's a trap or something that I'm missing. Extreme 4, 160 XP, but I'm not seeing that because the boss himself is only 80 XP. The the troll or ogre is 30, and the bugbear's 20. That's only 130. I guess it's above severe. Maybe that's what they were thinking. Above severe, not quite extreme. Maybe that's what they were thinking. But it's not that much above severe, really. But being that that's the difficulty that they were going for, I would not want to make this... I wouldn't want to bring this to 200 then. I would probably want to keep this closer to the 130 that it has budgeted so far. But I think, being that they are considering it extreme, I would probably add 40 XP worth of monsters, or threats, rather than the 30 for a severe. Which is going to bring us to 170, which is still, I mean, for 4 people, 170 would be an extreme threat. 40 XP to add. And none of the monsters are worth 40, because again, we have the boss is worth 80, the one guy's worth 30, and the one guy's worth 20. So what I could do is I could add 2 more of these -2 guys for 20 XP each, and that would be the 40. Let's take a look at that and see what that looks like. So that would be adding 2 more bugbears to this. Is that the answer? It could be. It could be. For Pathfinder, you don't really want to go too many levels higher than the party. So, like, I could make him elite also, which would... Let's just see what that would do. If we make him elite, then he goes to being worth 120 XP on his own. Because he would be considered 3 levels higher than the party. I don't know that I want to do that, though. So, if he's 120 and the ogre's worth 30, that's 150, and 20, 170. Actually, I mean, that does give me the 40 XP that I want. keeps the threats the same, but it makes him like a much. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make him elite, and the reason is he's the end boss. He should be. He should be difficult and challenging. And rather than adding more lower level enemies, I'm just gonna make him elite. So we're gonna make him elite. And that is going to give him 118 hit points. A higher armor class and all that. Okay, so we have our boss. Let me just make sure that it opens to sheet elite. I'm pretty sure that it will. Yeah, it still opens to sheet elite. The one problem that I'm going to run into with the one room back here, just to explain, I have two owlbears, and they are. One of them's elite, one of them's not. I need to either flip the sheet back and forth between the two of them, or maybe make a copy and then make one of the sheets elite. But I'm going to have to kind of juggle this a little bit more. It's a little bit more challenging when you have two creatures of the same type and one of them is elite. But anyway, that's pretty much how I prep for Pathfinder when I have different size party, or in the case of my game on Saturdays that I run, the party is higher than the level of the module that they're currently in. So I had to pretty much adjust the monster's XP to the level of the party. So just a quick rundown of that. If, let's say, their level... So this isn't going to line up exactly because this is for level 4, although what I'm running is for level 4. So it will actually line up 1-to-1. So in the case of this... You know, let me go to a different room in here. Let's say this room here. It was a moderate 4. When I was if I was running this for my game on Saturdays, just as an example, a moderate encounter would be 80 XP. The boar is creature 2, but my party is level 5. So for my 5th level party, a level 2 creature is 4, 3, 2, 3 levels lower than the party. So I need to count the boars as only 15 XP instead of 20. So one boar would only be 15 XP, and this troll enforcer, which is a level 5 creature, instead of being party level +1 and worth 60 XP, is actually on level and only worth 40 XP. So the 40 plus the 15, that's only 55 XP. That moderate encounter was for 80 XP. So you can see how it is a strength of Pathfinder 2e, I have to say, when it comes to encounter balancing, because the encounters are balanced around the creature threat versus the party's level. So for a 4th level party of 4, these two creatures would be a moderate threat. But for a party of 4 5th level characters, this wouldn't even be a low encounter. This would be trivial. This would almost be trivial. It would be 55 XP. Maybe you could consider it low, but it would be like really easy. this is complicated even further for me with my Saturday game because I have 6 players. So not only are they more powerful than the encounters as they're written, but I have to add 20 XP for each player extra beyond 4. So I need to add 20 and 20. I need to add 40 extra XP just to maintain a moderate balance. And that's added to the 80, so 120 XP for this party. And as written, I just showed that this encounter is only 55 XP, and in order to maintain a moderate, I need 120. So I would need to beef this encounter a whole lot in order to get it to where it needs to be. Um, looking at it, the troll enforcer here, he is on level for my 5th level party, so 40 XP for him. If I add another troll, I get 80 XP from him. I have 15 from this boar. That's 95. So I'd have like 2 options here, really, I would think. I could. So let me see. If I weaken the boar, I take a level away from the boar, then it's like level 1 creature instead of level 2. Then it's only worth 10 XP. If I make it worth only 10 XP, and the one troll enforcer is worth 40 XP, that's 50. If I add another one, that's 80, that's 90. I need to add 30 more XP. Maybe I just add a couple more weak boars. So let's see, 2 of these is 80. So like the thing is, the encounter could just be 3 troll enforcers, and I get rid of the boars entirely. But it feels like the boars, they want to be there, and the only way to get the boars to really work, I could do 4 weak boars and 2 troll enforcers, and that actually is kind of cool because it's like each of the troll enforcers has like 2 boars. So maybe that's what I would have done. But you could see how I really would need to tweak that encounter in order to get it to where it needs to still be, in order to be moderate. In order to be a moderate 4. So that pretty much ends my short rest, and now I have to get to work. I have trees calling me, and I thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit as I prep my game for tonight. Take care.